Welcome in to the Flusosophy, which is a word I was just made aware of literally 3 seconds ago.
Yeah, I just went with that. I said, who cares? Let's go with it. The Flusosophy.
I am so, honestly,
I support it.
I'm going to be honest right now who are we sponsored by? Who's our...
The Flusosophy is sponsored by DraftKings. Use code CHGO when you sign up to get up to $150 in free bets.
We love you, DraftKings. I'm honestly excited. Just sit back and learn today because the Flusosophy, I haven't fully digested it. It's going to waffagate over me.
Waffagate.
Wow, look at all of these words.
Is that a real one?
Just for the record, Hoge called me this morning after our morning meeting. He was very excited that he had uncovered, in essence, the Flusosophy of where this team is headed when we get the proper...
Actually, I called you about Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee, but yeah.
It was okay, that was the reason you called, but you definitely talked Flusosophy in that call. No, that wasn't the same call?
I don't think so.
That was definitely that call. So I'm not... No, Hoge's just playing hard to get right now.
No, I'm not. Also, I have no idea why I'm wearing an Argentina jersey, but I found it. I bought it in Barcelona in like 2003.
I love that.
Argentina won the World Cup. I'm like, I'm going to find this jersey, and I'm going to wear it.
Like, the crowds of people at Messi's driveway, that's too much. Like, I get that everyone wants to celebrate. And the masses of people along the highway, I was like I live in, I can watch one of the highways here in Chicago, and I was just picturing, if that was all filled with people and how much anxiety I would have and how I would just not leave my house.
The drone footage of everybody singing was so cool.
Yeah, when they actually won.
I want to figure out what they were singing.
Do you mind
that
if
song
I
was
grab
cool.
I don't mean to. Do you mind if I grab your coffee cup?
And do what?
She minds.
Yeah. What do you?
Well, I just see my name. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Well, no. I mean, it's not spelled like you. We have different spelling.
Did you see that? Well, don't touch my coffee cup.
Yeah, it's mine.
She did not like you touching her coffee.
Carmi's here. Carmen V's here. I'm so excited.
I was like, don't get rid of it.
Welcome in, Adam Hoge, Carmen V, Mark Carman. They have the same name with one letter different.
Yeah. Although everybody spells my name like your name. I don't know why everybody thinks that it's an A at the end.
That's interesting because
and then everyone spells his name.
His name with an E.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have to tell him no, I'm not the Italian or Latino. I'm the Jewish man with the A. You got to go A for me, and see the same thing. Come on, Carmen. You're inherently cooler than me.
No, that's not true.
I think it is.
We've the comment section's already turned into a weather chat. Shout out to
Bear weather.
Kenny in Scotland. Kenny's in Scotland. It's 59 degrees and dark.
The dark part not great, but 59 degrees.
Oh yeah, because it's what? It's probably 6.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's probably
6 p.m. there.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. there.
The sun came up at 8:30 a.m. in Paris, and it really just whacked me out.
I mean, it's still. I feel like it comes up late
8:30
here.
It's like 7:15. I feel like
something that's not on the show today is actually bear weather. I wanted to discuss bear weather.
We can still discuss bear weather.
We don't need to discuss it.
Oh my gosh. KCL, -23 with a -44 wind chill in Montana.
Ugh. And headed towards Chicago. That sounds great.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's the stuff that's coming towards us, right? Because it's coming all the way down.
Yeah. That's
from the Arctic Circle.
How about KCL just tuning in from Montana? Let's celebrate that.
That's awesome, Casey. I don't know if that's Casey from Yellowstone, but the show Yellowstone. But
I need to watch that.
That's the one thing they don't tell you when you watch Yellowstone is that that's what it's like in the winter.
Yeah. Well,
the whole show is filmed when it's nice and it's beautiful, and they never show you the winter part.
Haven't watched it yet.
Tourism to Montana has skyrocketed since that.
It's a great show. I love it.
I want to go to Montana.
I'm a little behind
now.
Not
winter, but
I got. My wife and I got sucked into White Lotus, and all of a sudden Yellowstone went on the back border.
I love White Lotus.
No, I'm not in either
White Lotus is
great.
It's good.
I mean, the theme song's such a banger in season 2. It's the best.
Sarah likes it. Sarah's here. She liked it. White Lotus. Carm's just.
We are all over the map right now. We got to Yellowstone.
Carm, let the record show. Carm would. I wanted to come in here. I wanted to get a little loose when warmed up with the ping pong game, and he would not play me because he said he had to prep for the show. He's still not listening to me right now, and all he did was sit there and watch Dansby Swanson's press conference.
That's not entirely true.
It's 97% true.
I was reading the fine athletic piece that was outlining why Aaron Rodgers is such a pain in the ass to deal with, and it was an outstanding piece. And
You're not helping that narrative.
And I was
It's not what it was meant for.
I understand. It's mostly tongue in cheek. And I was in the same room where the great Luke Stuckmeyer was zeroed in on Dansby Swanson and how the Cubs are going to win the World Series in 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, one of those years.
Congrats to the Cubs for landing Dansby Swanson and his, was it 738?
738 OPS.
OPS,
Don't you worry about
$177 million.
Dansby is going to right now, here's a question for you, Hoge. If you had to bet on the next Chicago team to win the whole thing,
Bears.
Would you go Bears? Because I would go Bears.
I would go 0.
It's never going to happen ever again.
Chicago Sky is the answer.
Okay, I don't know the Sky's prospects, so but between the Cubs,
they're very good.
Yeah, I got it. Cubs, Sox, Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks. In the history of CHGO, who will get to raise the flag first?
As much as I think, here's what I think. I think the correct answer, as much as I don't believe in it and don't want to say it, is probably still the White Sox.
They have the best chance right now. Yes,
right now, you look at the roster.
They're the closest. That's right.
If everything goes right, they could theoretically do it next year. I don't think anything's going to go right. I think it's going to be awful.
I don't trust that organization.
I don't trust anything about them. They're owned by Jerry Reinsdorf, so I'm good.
They are the closest, but that doesn't mean you need to pick them.
Then I think
I have no idea.
Probably I don't know.
I don't think it's close, honestly.
I think it's probably the Bears because they have the quarterback.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Justin Fields is the best athlete in the city right now. And it's
true.
Honestly not close. Bulls' best player is DeMar DeRozan, and they probably need to trade him. Blackhawks have no one. White Sox is who? Who's the best player on the Chicago White Sox right now? Luis Robert? Seriously.
I mean, yeah, maybe. Dylan Cease.
But he doesn't live up to it. It's probably Tim Anderson still.
Is it Tim Anderson?
Yeah.
Cease? Does he count it?
Yeah.
Pitchers count?
Who?
Dylan Cease.
It could be Dylan Cease.
Cy Young Award.
Absolutely a fair argument.
But he only plays every 5 days.
Maybe the right answer, but that's part of the problem. Who's the Cubs' best player? Dansby Swanson?
Hey, man.
Is that the best player? It probably is.
It's Mallory Pugh's husband, yeah.
Yeah. So
one of the last things I heard of that press conference right before we sat down, and then I promised we'll get into Matt Eberflus's defense, was Dansby Swanson being like, I'm so excited to be here and play with the likes of Ian Happ and Jan Gomes.
Yeah.
Yes, Jan Gomes was the second name he said, and I just laughed out loud. That's a problem.
I mean, Mark, who I was exchanging Twitter conversation with today, Mark, you're my man. And I gave you a great tip for any tennis player in Austin. Go to the Southwest Austin Tennis Center and see my amazing Bree Ripner, who got to number 61 in the world at one point. And she has a great class on Wednesday nights, Carmi.
Right. Fine.
The point of all this is that you could bet it. You could say, like, if you believe this, that maybe the Cubs have the best organization. It's highly questionable at this point. But at one point, that was not even in doubt that the Cubs were the best run team in town. Right?
Yeah.
So you could, if you want to bet the Cubs, I think that's a fair, at least you can't make a super strong case for anybody else. But if you are looking at the best player in town with the most talent and the ability to hit a Super Bowl, NBA champion, NH Stanley Cup, World Series level, Fields is so far ahead of everybody.
Yeah, probably right. That's a good way to start the show.
I was just sitting there in my bed.
Someone said in the comments too, it was like, depending on this offseason. Like this offseason is
right.
going to tell you exactly
right. But
if
just
they're actually close or not.
But to have that piece, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, it's the quarterback. The quarterback could change everything.
The quarterback is changing everything, minus the Bears winning football games. But it's been the most amazing turn of events.
All right.
Keep going. It's philosophy. Something.
It's a philosophy. Hey, for our CHGO diehards, don't forget tonight, happy hour. It's happening 8:15. It's the link if if you are a diehard, then you already got my newsletter this morning, which we're about to talk about. The link is in there, I believe. Also, we are going to be emailing that out to everyone later. So CHGO Diehards, you'll be getting the link. It's also in the Discord, so check out the Discord. If it's not already, it will be later. We'll be sharing that, and then you can jump in and be part of the happy hour tonight with Will and Nick.
Can we go back to that picture?
I don't know.
I know for the audio world, sorry that you can't see this, but I've never seen two better-looking dudes than Will DeWitt and Nicholas Moriano in their shady rays just smiling at you. Is that Brad Pitt and, I don't know, Rafael Nadal? What's going on over there? Like, these guys are
Rafael Nadal?
I don't know. No movie star popped in my mind for Moriano.
Apparently.
And so Carr's mind went right to
tennis and red hot Rafael Nadal.
You could even be like George Clooney if you're going Brad Pitt.
Yeah, just give him the
Clooney.
You could have gone
DeWitt
Clooney.
DeWitt looks like Pitt.
That's what I'm saying. And then,
well, it rhymes.
Yeah, and then
Will
Nick
DePitt.
Nick is a young Clooney.
Nick can be a young Clooney.
Nick's a young. Okay,
all
right, fine.
Brad Pitt is not young anymore. Brad Pitt is old. He's still attractive. He's old.
I mean, that is.
I said this before. I made it 20 minutes in the bullet train and turned it off.
I didn't watch it.
If we added modeling into the CHGO business plan, those two dudes are walking down the aisle for us.
Okay. Well, you can stare at them all you want tonight on the happy hour then.
All right, 8:30, right?
8:15.
8:15.
8:15.
I'm there.
Be there. We'll be jumping in too as well to say hi. So make sure you're there tonight. All right.
Just got weird in here.
Also, for the diehards, the newsletter was out this morning.
Yes.
I thought this all came from an answer to a question yesterday in Matt Eberflus's press conference. But
Courtney Cronin asked it.
Yeah, he was asked about. Good question by Courtney. Good job. Basically the importance of the 3 technique, and his explanation to me was fascinating. Like, Flus almost has a little bit of Belichick in him, where if you ask him the right question, especially sometimes like football-y, right? You know how Belichick, doesn't say anything, right? If you ask Belichick the right question, he will give you 2,000 words in an answer explaining, like, the details of a kickoff in special teams.
I think that's more common than people realize.
Yeah.
Is like, if you ask these guys football questions, like, at the very least, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
And at the most, then, you're going to get a better answer out of them.
So I just want to make sure Bears fans listen to the. I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to talk through it a little bit, because I want to make sure just people understand why we talk about the 3 techniques so much. But first of all, he said, we call it the engine that makes everything go. Because in the running game, you can't run at the 3 tech, and you can't run away from him. So it's hard to really dictate where you're going to run the ball. It creates a lot of free lanes for your linebackers to run through in the run game. Mm-hmm. And then what about against the pass? Well, in the pass game, a lot of times when you have a 3 technique, again, this is Flus saying this, and then you have a good defensive end opposite him, then it's hard to move your offensive line that way, right? So you got a good 3 technique over here. You got the opposite defensive end over here. It's like, what does the offensive line do to account for both of those? It creates a lot of one-on-ones. He's typically overmatched on a guard, your 3 technique then. Typically, your best offensive linemen are on the outside, right? We always talk about how
athletic. Yeah, most athletic.
You pay the tackles, most athletic guys. Well, so if your best player is on the inside, think about Aaron Donald, why he has so many good matchup advantages.
Well, they've started moving him around a lot, and he's still
right. Then that becomes an advantage
he's
for you.
Just scary.
So then the other part, which was a good follow-up, I think Potsy had, is what does a 3 technique do to the will linebacker? Because we've talked a lot about that, too, since Flus got here. You got your 3 technique, you got your will, the 2 important parts of this. So got this graphic that was it's not graphic, it's a screenshot from the Bears-Lions game that I included in the newsletter this morning.
This is the level that I've been waiting for. Okay, let's go.
Well, here's what's interesting, because not all 4-3 defenses do this, but this is a staple of what Flus likes to do.
Flusosophy.
And it's what the Bears used to do with Lance Briggs behind.
It's a very quintessential Tampa 2, like the old 46 defense.
Monty
like,
Kiffin,
yeah.
Tony Dungy, Lovie Smith, on and on and on.
Audio world, we've got a picture of the Bears defense. Who's the nose tackle there? Is that Justin?
Honestly, it doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
Kind of the point of the conversation is none of these people are going to be here.
Except for Sanborn, who's in the Mike linebacker, and he looks so good. But keep going.
But just the point is, you put the will linebacker behind the 3 technique, and Eberflus explained it like this. He said, if you do it like we do it, the old school Tampa Bay, Chicago Bears, they would put Lance Briggs, Derek Brooks behind the 3 technique. Yeah. They would always travel together. That means you're covered to the hit. It would create a lot of things with that. Last place I was at with DeForest Buckner, Shaq Barrett, pretty good combo right there, right? DeForest Buckner, your 3 technique, Shaq Barrett, your will linebacker. He was always
Shaq Leonard, but yeah.
Oh yeah, why did I put Barrett? Typo.
It's okay.
Shaq
Darius Leonard, formerly Darius Leonard, now Shaq Leonard.
Yeah, thank you for that correction.
Yeah.
He was always covered,
job,
always covered to the hit. Those 2 positions are really important to us. What does that mean, covered to the hit? Well, for those that are watching on YouTube, you can kind of see this, but like by putting the will right behind the 3 technique, he's not exposed to a free blocker. Whereas if you look at where the Sam is on the opposite side, a lot of coaches call that the bubble. Eberflus calls it the bubble, but there's basically an uncovered gap there. So you're essentially just putting your 2 most dangerous players behind each other to make sure that one of them is going to be free. Yeah. It just makes it harder for the offense to cover for that. The easiest way to explain this is just like what I just said. You're taking your 2 most disruptive players in your front 7 and lining them up in a way where the offense can't account for both of them easily. Yeah. Now, I think what's interesting, guys, about this conversation with the Bears is...
I'm with Braggs, by the way. Explain this to me like I'm 5, but I'm learning. I'm with you.
Well, that's why we gave you the visuals there.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that visual. And Nomad, I did not know that you had these football chops, so good to learn about you, buddy. It was crushing 4-3 defenses.
Yeah. So...
That's a good point, though, too. The word dominant seems a little like superfluous there, but that's important. Dominant meaning like a pocket pusher.
Yeah.
Like somebody that can, I don't like using the word penetrate, but that's what these coaches use, that are going to get pushed up front, because that's where you get the decision from offensive lines. Like, well, you can't, if you set yourself to the defensive end on the other side, then you've got this guy that can get into the pocket from the 3 tech, and he's closer too. So it's like, do you set your line to the 3 tech, but then you leave the defensive end open? And that's what creates a lot of issues, I feel like, for offensive lines, is if this guy, not only is he there, but he can get to the quarterback, he can get push, he can get through the line.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Exactly. And then and Flus will also talk about, he said this as far back as the combine, you have to be able to penetrate, shoot that gap, right? But when they run away from you, you got to be able to hold the B gap. So it's kind of a rare player that has to be able to have that quickness, that suddenness to get through the gap, but also have the strength and power to be able to hold a gap more like you might do in a 3-4.
3-4, yeah.
So that's where.
So hold on. Let's just wind back for the 3 people out there that don't understand what hold the gap means.
Yeah,
you want to pull up that diagram again.
So, especially
you got your gaps.
That's why the A
between the offensive linemen.
So the
A's and B's and C's are on there.
I don't know if we need to. I'm sure a lot of people already know this, but the 3 tech defensive linemen go by techniques. So like your 0 is over the nose,
right?
Like over the center.
Yep.
And then you go out from there in like, you got your each offensive lineman is like is 2, 4, and then 6, but then it kind of gets a little bit weird. And then you've got like the interior ones, which are the odd numbers. So when you get a 3 tech, that means that they're inside the 4.
Right. I got it.
Outside shoulder of the guard.
Yes.
Is the 3 technique.
Is the 3 technique. So like those are all positionings. Like the nose tackle in this one is in the
I got
2I.
I got it. Where I'm confused, though, is when you say hold the gap. So let's say in this particular play, they run towards the Sam, okay?
Okay.
So what is the I assume the Will's job is to go get the running back, correct? No.
Well, it's all about a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
And then having each one of those gaps, both A's, both B's, both C's, covered. So that there's nowhere for the running back to go.
So when you're saying hold it, then does that mean?
Well, think about what the offensive lineman's trying to do then. They're trying to move you out of the gap,
right,
to create the hole, right? So if you hold the gap,
take up space.
You're just trying. So now, on every play, it isn't always your job to go make the tackle. It's I got to be here. I got to eat up this space. I got to hold this space. That's what that means.
Okay. So is there in that scenario in the Flusosophy that we're in right now, are two people? Thank you, Lawrence.
I mean, it was a stupid thing I wrote, figuring it'd be up there for 7 seconds, and then we'd never.
No,
say
I think it's the theme.
I think it's the
absolute start of the show.
It was brilliant.
The Flusosophy.
We are in the Flusosophy.
I might run it by him in a press conference.
I think you should. I think you should tell him that we are calling it the Flusosophy. And
I guess we need a T-shirt.
And we are, by the way, I mean, let's be honest, we have not seen enough Flusosophy yet. We need more Flusosophy to really feel comfortable that we have the head coach that's going to lead us to
that's what we're,
Here's why we're having this whole conversation.
Yeah. I got it.
What's the other part of what you would have read in my newsletter if you got it this morning is I'm not so sure the defense might not be that far away because
I don't think it is.
The secondary against the best team in the league right now, the Eagles, the other day, played pretty damn well and showed you that there are pieces in Jalen Johnson, in Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Eddie Jackson, I think at this point is almost assuredly coming back and had a much better year, showed that he could be a fit in this defense.
Yeah.
And so your secondary, I don't want to say it's completely set, but it looks pretty good. It looks like a young, ascending secondary that can do the takeaway part.
Yeah, you need a little
But they're doing everything they've done this year without that 3 technique,
right?
Without, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Justin Jones, but without that dominant 3 technique, the engine that makes everything go, as Flus put it, that they need to go out and get, plus the weak side linebacker that I think they'll try to make a big upgrade with too. And so all of a sudden, as you add those 2 pieces, especially the 3 technique, and I think that's where the Flusosophy
will click,
really takes off.
Yeah.
So if Justin Jones was sitting, say right here, my guy, and I said 93, my man.
Why is he so short in your
93?
He's a massive human being that would eat you.
93. We got to fit him on the screen here.
Like, there are probably I don't know, 5 to 7 really good 3 techniques in the league. Like, it's not an insult to be like, you're a good player, Justin Jones. You're a good rotational player. I'm
not even trying to insult him. I'm just asking him the question. Where I know you can play all over. I know that's one of the reasons why they brought you to Chicago, for positional flexibility.
Yes.
Where do you want to play? Maybe I'll ask him that today. He's kind of tired of talking to me, but I might ask him that.
Be a rotational player. Honestly, and that's the other thing,
this
too.
guy again.
He's going to give me the Taj Gibson treatment.
The interior defensive line also, like, if you can get a rotation up there, all the better. Because, like, you're going to keep those guys fresh, and it's going to keep the pressure on and all the other stuff. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not even, like, a lot of people are saying, like, draft Jalen Carter, and I don't think that's a bad idea. But I almost think that you want to get a veteran because of just everything. Like, everything hinges on that. And I feel like that's going to be an inherent leader on this defense. So, I mean, it's a really, and granted, if you're taking Jalen Carter with, like, the 3rd overall pick, that's a fair expectation of a 3rd overall pick, is to also be a leader right away. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like if you bring your veteran in there who's proven, who is one of those 5 to 7 really good 3 techs, that he can instantly command that defense and lead it and be one of those captains.
Well, whether it's free agency or the draft, and free agency will happen before the draft, so that'll give us a much clearer picture of what might happen in the draft. But I do think that Flus's comments yesterday need to be remembered. The engine that makes it all go. So, in a debate between Will Anderson and Jalen Carter, if that's what it came down to, and my guess is we're going to have better clarity based on what the Bears do in free agency before we get to that point.
Right.
But it's just something to keep in mind because.
So you think?
But here's the thing: they need both Because the other part of that I sort of glossed over a little bit, mentioned, but you need that opposite DN
too. Yes,
to really put the offensive line in a bind.
Then you can go and get Will Anderson. But yeah,
trade back, get them both.
If we're bottom lining what we learned about Flusosophy today, did we move in a?
This needs to be a new segment, by the way.
Yeah. Did we move in a very significant way to understanding the Flus to the point that we have that much more confidence in the Flus? Because there have been no instances this year, and I'm not trying to be negative here because it's fine, and I'm optimistic that Matt Eberflus is going to do a very good job as the Bears head coach when the Bears roster is a lot more complete. But I am looking for sort of just bits and pieces of evidence that this dude is really, really good at his job.
I think you have that.
Where?
But okay, can I clarify real quick? Are you talking about head coaching or defensive coordinator? Two different things.
I think it's got to be both. I mean, like I'll take it as in a leadership form. I'll take it in a strategy form. I haven't seen it anywhere.
Well, I don't think you're giving enough credit to what they've done with the culture.
Okay, so
it's a 3-11 football team that has no drama at all.
Anyone around the league about Matt Eberflus who knows him, who's played for him, I mean, you're like
Belichick
never heard.
Belichick loves him, and the culture point is a very fair point. They are the locker room. We've mentioned it. It doesn't feel at all like a team that's lost 7 in a row on their way to potentially losing their final 10 games of the year. It doesn't feel like that, and that's. He gets credit for that. But I also don't – I haven't heard, like, a lot of guys in there being like, you know, we love playing. And that's fine. They don't have to love playing for him. Maybe that's – I don't – you know, he's authoritative head coach. That's great with high demands, and maybe guys feel a little irritated by him at times because they're being pushed. I got no problem with that. But your point is fair that the culture is very good. And so maybe okay, there's one ding for the Flus, for sure. But I'm looking for more.
I think guys like playing for him. I've talked to guys that like his defense. It's not operating like it should yet. And so, like, that's not going to be fun for anybody. But at the same time, this last game, the fact that you managed takeaways, especially on Jalen Hurts, who had, 3 interceptions coming into the game through 2 against this Bears defense, and here's the big thing, without getting the push up front. Like, you're not getting pressure on the quarterback to force him into hurried throws, errant throws, any of that. This is purely the secondary reading and understanding what they're looking at and understanding how this defense operates to be able to make those reads. Kyler Gordon especially is really coming into that nickel spot. And I think that's a direct testament to Matt Eberflus.
That's fair.
He's a defensive back guy. That's like his background.
I will give another point. I will grant you that. Kyler Gordon has gotten better. That's true, without a doubt, and that's point.
They
point.
Give him
that's
a,
point.
They give him a chance. Listen, the league's best team.
The
NFC's best team, at least.
I enjoy the Flus. I'm a Flus fan. I've been flusing it up for a while.
You sound a little.
I'm just well. Listen, when you are down 17-12 and you kick an extra point to make it 17-13 in the third quarter, I'm looking at you cross-eyed as well as, and I'm not the only one. I think most people are like, "What are you doing?" And these are really basic.
Well, now it sounds like you're talking about head coach.
Well, it's part of this.
Well, I think what Carm's now bringing up are fair questions about the future that still have yet to be answered. So it can definitely be both. All right. By the way, I saw we have a YouTube poll question. Are you done with your holiday shopping? 53% saying no. I have to say I am incredibly impressed that means 47% are.
Yeah, I'm not.
I am definitely not.
That's why I put it on there. And I am so screwed because with the storm coming and the freezing cold, I'm effed.
You're not going to be like Friday, on Friday, you're not going to be able to just run out to Target.
I know. I'm so
Can I actually get into what I still haven't recovered from a moment from this week here 2 days ago that set my entire week back?
Was it me beating Wood at ping pong? Shout out to me.
Look, I was going to get out of here on Monday and run a bunch of errands and get a lot of things
I know
done.
where this is going.
And And we have an amazing GM here in Jake Flanagan who does really nice things. And he says, hey, I'm going to get some pizza for the staff. And they're just asking who's staying, who's leaving, just to get a number count. And I was like, you know what? Sure, let's get some pizza. I can stay another hour. Everything will be fine. You know, pizza will be here. We'll eat the pizza.
This is hostile. He's blaming Flanagan for his Christmas.
No, not at all, Flanagan.
I believe he's blaming the establishment.
The establishment, which I'm not going to name, because I believe the pizza was ordered at 1:45 and arrived at 3:35.
Yeah.
And at one point, now you're committed. You can't just leave.
What you're saying is that Flanagan should have gone and gotten the pizza, not gone delivery, knowing your
Stop
tight
trying
schedule.
to make this about Jake and something. It's not at all on that at all. All I'm saying is those 2 hours, I never recovered from yet.
Yeah, no.
All those errands I was going to run, the Target run, the Costco run, still hasn't happened.
All right, but I will say I don't have a car, and all my Christmas shopping is done already. So
Okay.
Well, aren't you fabulous?
You also live in the city.
That would be like Aaron Jordan dunking on Mel Turpin. Was
Amazon,
he big enough?
Whatever you feel about Amazon is my best friend. Amazon, like I got gift wrap, I got everything.
Hold on. Now I'm going to push back on this. Hold on a minute.
What?
Amazon is a horrible company that you should not be supporting. You should be going to local establishments that are mom and
there
pop
are
owned.
local establishments that you can get through Amazon that are distributors on Amazon.
You can shop local on Amazon.
You can shop
That's
local on
true. There's
Amazon.
actually a tab that you can
And
click.
I've done it. I did it yesterday with my dad's gift.
You
Okay,
might
fine.
not get the
Well,
Prime
I hope you're
2-day
using
shipping.
smile.amazon.com.
I am, and
maybe
it goes to a very nice
doggy
charity that's very
company.
close to my heart.
Yeah. I'm doing
Want
the
to be
doggies
starting
myself.
something. Got to be starting
I
something.
got answers for everything you're gonna come at me with. Lawrence, I'm prepared.
Preston, I'm not starting anything around here.
Anyway.
Well, if anything,
In
Except for
conclusion,
conversation.
Jeff Bezos is going to own the Bears in 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
Bears.
He's gonna own the
Bezos.
entire NFL.
and if
Well,
you're
did
like
you see
me,
Google is
and haven't
YouTube is
gone or anything.
nearing a deal for Sunday
Oh, boy.
Ticket.
Which I like. I'm a
know.
YouTube TV guy.
I'm a YouTube TV person too.
and that would be great. I don't have to do any extra switching.
I have the Sunday Ticket. I have Sunday Ticket. And I have like the app and stuff, but
Great.
it's not I mean, the customer service is terrible, so maybe it would get better.
All right. Real quick, we need to talk about our best friends at ComEd.
Is that me?
No, it's me. I just
Okay.
I was
it's me.
poking
It's
the
about
bear
me.
a little bit.
Oh, yes. They're our best friends. Lawrence loves ComEd.
The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities we serve manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future. ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across our territory. Customers can inquire about how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficient LED lights. By the way, I don't think in the history of me doing a read here, Carm hasn't laughed in the middle of it at some comment.
I love the chat.
Which always throws me off.
I'm sorry, buddy. I just love the chat. People are mad. I love the whole concept.
Wait,
that,
people are mad in the chat?
Yeah.
No way.
I love the concept that don't you say one negative thing about the Flus. The Flus the Flus has already won 5 Super Bowls according to some out there.
Well, I actually agree with you on that one.
and
you could say the same about
it's all or nothing. You
Ba-
can say, yeah.
how much of a total different conversation about how much of a pass Bulls management has gotten just because they're not GAR packs.
oh well, that's wow. We
Have
just
they done one good thing?
flipped.
Learn about network lighting, operate your lights through your mobile device, track your facility's energy usage, and more. Incentives have recently increased for indoor, outdoor lighting and networked lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than before. Visit comed.com/poweringbiz now to start saving money and energy. And to start a project, you can contact ComEd at 1-855-433-2700. For more information, email business at comed.com or public sector at comed.com.
What am I missing?
It's a new Lawrence thing, and
that's the email addresses.
It's
whatever.
business EE.
Bezos versus Musk in the chat is one of my favorite chats going on.
Bezos is doing laps right now
gosh.
around Elon.
Please no.
Yes.
Hashtag Bezos versus Musk. It's
All
like the
billionaires are bad.
Are these
Yeah,
people really
horrible.
people? I want to
Awful.
know.
And yes, Daniel, I am wearing a knockoff Argentina jersey that I bought in Barcelona.
Like if Musk walked in here right now and just sat down, what would we do? What up, Musk?
I literally think I would just get up and be like, I'm not engaging with this.
I might hit him over the head with that Bears helmet.
I wouldn't be that aggressive.
I would be so intimidated.
I would probably just leave.
Hello, Elon.
You'd be intimidated
by Elon
Why?
Musk?
No.
Or Jeff Bezos?
Have you seen?
I'm intimidated by the waiter.
Have you seen Don't Look Up?
Yes.
Okay, the parody of the guy who's
That
like
is-
basically Elon is
It's
like
so
dead
good.
on.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That entire movie, it got nominated for like some Academy Awards, didn't it?
Yeah, that
It was a good movie.
you didn't like it?
What?
It was terrible.
It was not terrible.
I don't
It
know.
was a good conversation of our society as a whole.
I liked how it's constructed too, where it almost takes you halfway into the movie for you to realize what it's really
about. Yeah.
and it's just making fun of all of us.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's dead on.
It is.
Can you hook up
think so.
Scotty once your YouTube TV password so he can try it out?
You can get a 7-day free trial.
Go for the no, but he'll be a lot better just to get your password and just never have to pay for it, which we should talk off the air. At any rate, Greenridge Farm is the greatest place on earth for you to get your Chicago local meat and cheese company. They offer you a better, all-natural, delicious, amazing natural option. Yes, the makers of the all-natural deli meat sausages and, of course, the famous meat sticks, which are fantastic for tailgating, happy hour, school lunches, easy thing to throw right in there. After the holiday season is over, 16 grams of protein per stick. That's perfect for a post-workout snack. Get my yoga in today. Let's go. And then I'm going to crush a
Don't get hurt this time.
chicken, black forest beef, jalapeno cheddar, spicy chili meat stick. Right now, you can order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com and include a pack of the meat sticks in your cart. Those meat sticks will be free when you put that CHGO code in at checkout. You can find Greenridge Farm. You want to do this, just take a little peek. Refrigerated section, Costco, Sam's Club, or any of your local Chicagoland grocery stores. You throw it in there, get your holiday season going to the next level, greenridgefarm.com.
Yep. All right. Wanted to follow up on a conversation we had Monday because I think this has been a very interesting sort of social I don't know.
I'm nervous.
Industry commentary?
I don't remember Monday.
What's that?
I don't remember Monday.
So remember the what happened in the Tampa Bay locker room post game,
Jenna Lane,
where I think media members were fairly and probably rightfully criticized for being at least slightly unprofessional towards a player.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At first was refusing to talk to the media and then didn't really want to say anything other than he still was taking the blame though. So, and that did happen in Tampa where Carmen V has spent a lot of time covering the Bucs.
Yeah, been in that locker room.
Then yesterday, Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show blasts a story that was written by Kalen Kaler from The Athletic that was what I thought an interesting topic on the hand signals that anybody who's watched the Green Bay Packers over the course of Aaron Rodgers' career has seen Rodgers frequently do these hand signals at the line of scrimmage, and they always mean something.
Yeah, it
and
happened on 3rd and 2 when I was trying to hit that second half over, and
At the end of the game.
Eli called it out.
with Christian Watson.
Yeah.
And Watson didn't see it. So not only was it, I thought, an interesting story, but it actually turned out to be timely because it actually
it happened in the game.
happened in the game Monday night.
Yeah.
And Rodgers just like put the story on full blast.
Yeah.
He called it, what did he say?
He said it's a nothing.
Nothing burger.
And then he said it was, hold on. I like that Kaylin put this in her bio. Exaggerated nothingness.
Exaggerated nothingness.
Kaylin put it in her bio. Good.
That's a good move.
You go, girl.
100%.
And I guess the thing here is to me is like we almost have like two ends of the spectrum where it's like I think if people are gonna rightfully get upset at media members for being unprofessional towards the athletes, like at the same time, like to me what Rodgers did in calling out Kalen's story in the way he did, and Pat McAfee, to his credit, has taken responsibility for kind of fueling it too.
Right.
Because he mentioned that a bunch of anonymous sources said that, and it's like, yo, every source in the story was named. She got quotes from like 11 different players, including Equinemius St. Brown in the Bears locker room a couple weeks ago.
She got guys that are currently and have been in the Packers locker room. She got guys that have recently departed the Packers locker room. Like, she got her sources. It was so well sourced. Every source was named, and it was a good like range of guys and a range of perspectives. Like, you have one of his best friends quoted in the story that has been with him forever, that probably understands him more than anyone, saying, yeah, this is kind of a tough offense.
Yeah. And anyway, I feel like what Rodgers did was unprofessional in like calling out what I think was a well-sourced, good piece of journalism on not the most important topic in football, but an interesting one. Like, I've always wondered about the hand signals.
Sure.
I've always wondered about what Rodgers is doing, what they're saying. And the gist of the story, by the way, to add some more context, was a lot of the players that she interviewed saying, like, they're hard to learn.
Yeah.
They're not documented. There's no, like, handbook for what the signals mean. They change all the time. The hand signal meetings are not fun.
Right.
They don't always understand them. And I think you can fairly read through this long piece and be like, well, maybe Aaron Rodgers needs to do a better job of working with these young wide receivers to help them understand what the hell he's trying to get them to do.
Yeah, if not Aaron, then, I mean, he said it on Pat McAfee that Jordan Love actually kind of rounds up the signals for that week and disseminates them. But, like, maybe part of that falls on the coaches. Like, I mean, the hand signals part for me wasn't actually that strange, given how I've known teams to operate, and that's pretty standard. I don't know that many, and the fact and how, like, they're changed every week. They're basically installed with the plays every week. At least that's been my experience. They're installed and you go over them in meetings, and no, there isn't usually like a handbook where everything is like written in like a little dictionary glossary with like pictures or whatever. Like, that doesn't really exist usually. It's kind of more by word of mouth and coaches deciding, like, all right, this package is going to have this signal and that other, all that stuff. But my big thing with this whole thing is that Kaylin went into this not like, she didn't know about the signals. She didn't ask specifically about that. This was what was told to her. She was reporting on what guys had been telling her. She went into it like, this offense seems kind of complicated. I bet you that's pretty hard for rookies to pick up. What makes it so hard? Can I get people to talk about, why it's so hard for people to pick up, especially when you're a young player, you're getting adjusted to the league. And this is what she found out through all of the people that she spoke with, that she named, that she reported on. Like, there was no real narrative in her story. It was just reporting on what she had seen and heard. And then where we get this attack on Rodgers really wasn't until it hit social media and people took it that way. So I think that it's a really good comparison to what happened earlier in the week, where we can call out journalists for being unprofessional, but at the same time, we need to kind of keep that same energy. When Kaylin did, like, that was very her job. She did her job to a T. Like, that's really good journalism.
And then gets called out by one of the biggest names in the league.
Right.
And you know that the people that just hear Rodgers say these things are going to attack her, which is what happened. She had an awful day.
Right.
Having to deal with that. And it's just like, honestly, I think Rodgers should apologize. Well, I doubt he will. But I really think he should.
Did.
McAfee, to his credit, did, and said he was going to address it on his show today. And I haven't seen what he said yet.
No, I haven't either.
What Rodgers did was completely unprofessional and unfortunately on brand for him.
So
it was the easy way out.
He is at the end of his career, and this article in his mind was basically putting him on blast for how he's handled himself. And so he felt, this is my interpretation, that he felt like he had basically no other recourse other than to, like, aggressively defend himself, which is what I would say to Aaron is, dude, you are going to end up in pro football's Hall of Fame. You won a Super Bowl. You are one of the most elite athletes to ever play the position of quarterback in the NFL. You have absolutely nothing to defend. Nothing. So you could, what he could have said is, like, I'll be honest with you, reading this, it kind of hurt. I maybe have some regrets about how I could have done some things better. I wish that this had been brought to me when I wasn't 37 years old. And by the way, at the back end of a season, we're 96% likely to miss the playoffs. But however, just for the record, I am signed up for next year, and I'm going to make $50 million. So I'm going to take this feedback in the twilight of my career. I'm going to try to be a little bit better.
That's the thing too. Like him calling this BS. All right, then you're not calling essentially the article BS, because again, she was just reporting what she was told. And that, I think that's why it was a lot easier for Rodgers to berate the article and the journalist rather than have to contend with the fact that all of these different players had said that about him, because that's uncomfy. And you're right. Like he should have said something along the lines of like, I don't want guys to feel like that. But don't attack Kaylin for doing her job.
But like, if you haven't read the article, like I don't even think any of the comments are like some huge attack on him. Randall Cobb is basically just telling you, it's a challenge. Like I wasn't ready as a rookie to play with this dude. I sat back and I was learning.
Yeah,
that's not some like playing with Aaron sucked comment.
No.
So
I mean, like good offenses are complicated.
But I think the other look, there's obviously a disconnect in Green Bay that has gotten better as the season's gone along. They have improved in the last 5 games. A little bit, enough, probably not enough offensively, but a little bit. And then the other side of this to me is you had Matt LaFleur come out and tell Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, and this came out late in that broadcast, that like they weren't meeting together.
They weren't watching film together as a team. They were just doing it in their individual.
Yeah, and they started to get together with the quarterback and the wide receivers actually in the same room watching practice together. And Troy Aikman made the comment, I was shocked that they weren't already doing that.
Right.
And then that led, rightfully so, to questions at the press conference the next day, yesterday, from the Packers reporters who wanted a little bit more context on what was said on the Monday Night Football broadcast. And LaFleur was like, yeah, we used to do that earlier in my career. We got away from it. Not really sure why, and we fixed it. So he's taking responsibility for, we probably screwed that up a little bit, and now we're working on fixing it. And I just kind of to your point, Carm, I don't know why it's so hard for Aaron Rodgers to just say that instead attacking, an innocent journalist who's just doing her job with the story. There was a very subtle comment.
It's also these guys are also just, to get to that level in life, you are an incredibly super competitive, prideful, perhaps irresponsible person at times.
Yep.
And
there's a lot of egos involved at all times. Including from the reporter side of it, which I think you saw come out in Tampa the other day too. There's ways to look. I saw Greg Allman apologized on Twitter the other day. I don't know if Jenna Lane has or not. She was the one that posted that video that we talked about on Monday. But good for Pat McAfee. I just think Aaron Rodgers. Which day of the week does he talk?
Tuesdays.
So did he talk yesterday? Yesterday too.
Yeah, he just talked yesterday on McAfee. Or are you talking?
I'm talking about the media.
He usually talks on Wednesdays, but because it's I think they're doing something weird because.
Okay. I just don't know if he's going to talk this week, but I don't know. In my opinion, he should have to say something.
He usually talks on Wednesdays.
Did you see his interview with Lisa Salters after the game?
Yeah, I watched that.
She goes, you got 3 games left, all against teams that are above 500.
Yeah, and he goes, well, one team's right at 500.
How do you feel about your chances? Well, one of those teams is at 500.
He did it in the press conference after the game too,
and it was
he corrects
he's a weird dude.
The Lions are 7-7. They're also 6-1 in the last. Then not the point of the question, dude. Just saying, don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Pat McAfee that he's built this relationship with Aaron, and he comes on his show, and Pat's making $8 zillion. That's fantastic. I'm super jealous. Good job by you.
Hell of a wrestler too.
Yeah.
Hell of a wrestler.
The point I'm making is this little comfort zone that Aaron has created for himself, where he goes on this show and he knows he's not going to get pushed. He knows that it's just, in essence, going to be.
Well, AJ Hawk's like one of his best friends.
Yeah. Well, I think it went from knowing that he wasn't going to get pushed on the show, which is not the point of it, and McAfee said that, and that's fine, to now using it as a platform to go on the offensive about things.
Right.
And that's where there's an issue. Because
excellent point.
Yeah, McAfee's not going to challenge him, and now he's not going to challenge him on attacking other.
You're allowed to go somewhere and hang out, but what you're not allowed to do is go into this comfort place and then use it as a
weaponize it.
Yeah,
essentially.
that's not good.
And I don't know the answer to this, but it kind of seemed like it was teed up for him yesterday. Like it was something he wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did want to talk about the article
because he seemed ready to go on it. And
yeah, I mean, the lead up to that, McAfee said, "Oh, you're getting." There's a lot of talk about your hand signals.
Right.
And, like, that's fine, though. Like, you can address it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting topic.
For sure.
I love the story idea. Well, and you said that that's not even really what she was going in to write it about. But, like, if that's what came out, I'm like, I love this. Because, like, I've always been fascinated and impressed by the Packers offense and Rodgers' ability to put his left arm behind his back. Whatever he does, he grabs his elbow. He taps his head sometimes. He does the hang loose thing.
And, like,
and usually it always leads to a big play.
For him to say, like, oh, this is a nothing burger. Yeah, well, yeah, for you. This is your reality. You know everything. Like, this was a really good way to peel back the curtain and show the process of how this all works.
Yeah, and Aaron, 12, for the record, you're not the only superstar in the history of the planet that doesn't really relish bringing along rookies and or people that you don't think are that talented, that you need to have it proven to you that you're on my level before I'm going to actually invest in you. That would be, over the course of time, much more normal than having some incredibly elite superstar who's willing to baby a guy along and teach him everything that he needs to know to get him up to speed. Yeah. That's not how it really works. So it's not unique. Again, something that he didn't really have to defend.
All right, hey, make sure this weekend, as there's a lot of football on again,
hit the like button if you hate Rodgers. Let's go with that. 283 people, 46 likes. Thank you, Edward. Give me a like button on an Aaron Rodgers is wrong. Let's go.
All right, starting tomorrow night, we get 4 days of NFL football in 5 days. Does that make sense? That was a weird way to say that. You should be hanging out with DraftKings the entire time. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is our go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. I'll give you a pick of the week right now. Did you guys see who's starting for the Colts this week? No.
Oh, yeah.
Came out this morning, which I didn't understand why they didn't do this earlier in the season. Nick Foles, baby. It's Nick Foles season.
Let's go, Folesy.
It was this week last year when he went into Seattle in a snowstorm. Shout out to Seattle getting hit by snow again. Hopefully they've added some snow plows in the last year since they couldn't get that cleaned up while we were there last year. And went in there and beat Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Nick Foles, baby. So they're 3-point underdogs. I don't know if the line's moved out. Who do they play again? They play
Detroit plays Carmen V.
No, who did the Colts play this weekend?
Oh, we're on the Colts.
Yeah, we're on the Colts.
My bad. Who does Detroit play?
Why are you talking about Detroit?
I swear I just heard you say something about Detroit.
They're playing the Panthers this week.
That's what it is. And it's Monday night. They play the Chargers Monday night. There's my pick of the week.
I like
Colts will cover with Nick Foles. And right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out right now. Everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped up same-game parlays. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, point totals, and more. The more legs you add, the bigger the boost, the bigger your shot to win big. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code CHGO. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
And my favorite moment of the show is when I get to open up the Game Time Tickets app on my phone and check out the prices for tonight, which should include the Blackhawks. That's right. Hey, we haven't mentioned it. Way to go, Bulls. The 18-game Chicago losing streak is over.
Oh, wow.
It's 113-103, getting it done. So the Hawks are...
Way to go, Jimmy Butler, for not playing.
Hey,
yeah, okay.
Hey, that didn't work on Sunday when Cat and whoever else didn't play for Minnesota.
How many points did they give up?
150 points.
Shout out to Big Dave.
Big Dave, we love you. That was a great video. Loved it. You want to go to Hawks tonight? Sit up top. Couple of tickets together.
I was actually thinking about that. What is it? Tell me.
$37 each. $74.
Sick. Might catch me at a Hawks game tonight.
All right.
We got a holiday pop-up shop in pop-up area in the atrium, and I want to check it out.
Hey,
the team isn't super entertaining at this point.
The atrium was cool for the Bulls game Friday night.
It's fine.
I was in there.
You'll have a great time watching some Blackhawk hockey. See the atrium, sit up top. Buy your tickets through the Game Time app. Do it through the link below if you really want to support CHGO. You know the story. 50-yard line courtside on the glass. Carmen, you want to go big tonight? Sit down low. I got you.
How much?
Let me hook that up for you.
Who wants to buy me Hawks tickets?
Carmen, we got 3 minutes to show. We got a whole segment to get to. So
11th row downstairs right now is $88 a ticket. Not terrible. That's normally like $175. All right, Game Time tickets. Download the app. 50 million people have done it. I love it. Game Time.
All right, before we get out of here, I want to debut a new segment. I think it's going to take off. 0 people took my request for videos.
0?
Well,
come on, team.
Well, here's your opportunity. We're not going to have them today, but if you want to send us videos to share with us, we will play them right here on the show. It's your opportunity to get on the show. But this is a new segment. We might have to workshop the name of it a little bit, but I'm calling it right now. We do care about your fantasy team. Except for Lawrence. He still does not care.
Some of us care.
Yeah, Lawrence still does not care. But look, we're in the playoff season. Everyone's always like, I don't care about your fantasy team. Just because you're bad at fantasy football doesn't mean that you can't care about others. But there's going to be bad beats. There's going to be good stories. And we want to give you the opportunity to do that. Now, I asked for some stories, and maybe it was just a little bit too early in the fantasy football playoffs, but most of the responses came from past events. But that's okay. So this one coming from Donnie Sweetness, 2008. I'm at Bears-Packers Monday Night Football facing an undefeated team in the championship. Packers line up for a game-winning field goal. I have the Bears defense, and the points would have cost me the points would have cost me the title. Guess what happened? I believe it was Alex Brown. This came up the other day. Bears block the kick. I tie the game, and Hester's kick return / gold field goal in overtime seal the victory. That's a good story, especially because he came down to a Bears.
That's awesome.
A Bears-Packer game.
And sucks.
Imagine the emotions in that moment.
Yeah, that's
pretty sweet. All right, and then a second one from Donovan says 2014. I can relate to this. I had a similar experience. Was in the championship year before in the semifinals. Double stacked Cutler and Jeffrey. This was the week after the Cromer situation. You guys remember that?
Yep.
After the Cowboys game. This is the following week. Monday Night Football. Bears were playing the Saints. They're losing 24-0. Everything's falling apart in the Mark Trestman era. And Cuddy threw the most garbage time touchdown ever to Jeffrey with 30 seconds left. Won by a point.
We care about that.
I do remember that because that advanced a lot of people in their semifinals was that garbage time touchdown. Mine was similar. It was in the same game with a player most have probably forgotten about. I have no idea how I was in the semifinals and playing this player. It was a pretty deep dynasty league, though, if I remember right. But I had Marquise Wilson. Remember Marquise Wilson? I had him in my flex, and he also scored a touchdown in that fourth quarter from Jay Cutler. Cutler threw 2 garbage time touchdowns, I believe. Marquise Wilson and Alshon Jeffrey, and that one got me to advance in the championship.
That's funny. I was
Too
leading
much
my
Cutler
fantasy,
talk, but I still love the stories.
I was leading my fantasy league this entire season.
Yeah.
I'm about to lose in the first round.
How do you know?
Because it goes by. It's the ESPN one, so you get the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to catch up.
Oh,
I don't have a good
it's a 2-week.
It's a 2 week.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you fell behind.
I fell behind, and I'm not
Too much to
gonna
overcome.
in the first round of the playoffs. I led the league like the entire year.
Who let you down?
Who let me down?
On your
On my team.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Name them.
No, I had both Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon, and like at various points they've just screwed me. Like there were various injuries and like bye weeks and stuff. It wasn't any one person, I don't think. I'm gonna pull it up though. It's really sad.
I have to start 2 between Josh Allen, Justin Fields, and Trevor Lawrence this week. It's a good position to be in, but it's also
I was going to say
ruining Christmas.
you're not.
And
really,
again, no one cares. All right, let's get out of
And
here.
that's the
I
end
got
of the
Cubs coming up
segment.
in
It's not the
20
point of this segment. We care about
Oh, yeah.
you.
We'll see
You
you
do,
Chubb
maybe.
plays.
We do care about your fantasy team. Follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Carmen V, at the Carm. These two will be back tomorrow night on Bears After Dark. Will and Nick have your preview show tomorrow at noon right here on the CHGO Bears Podcast. Tonight is the CHGO Die Hard Happy Hour, 8:15. Again, the Zoom link will come your way for those of you who are Die
Starring
Hard.
Brad Pitt and Rafael Nadal.
Yes, they will both be there. False advertising.
Pitt and Clooney.
You still time to become a diehard. Join us tonight. allchgo.com/diehard. Go sign up. Well, the rest of us will talk to you. I'll see you guys Saturday. Pre and post. Corey Wooten will be with us.
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's a Christmas Eve CHGO spectacular.
Christmas Eve, 11 o'clock, and we'll be doing a power hour after the game of Bears Post for your Christmas Eve. We're going to let you get out early so you can go do what you do on Christmas Eve.
#Flusosophy. Talk to you tomorrow.